What's going on, YouTubers? This is Zen from Zen Multiverse, and I hope you're having a great day. So what I'm doing right now is I was actually streaming on IG, right? I was doing a live unboxing, but I think the sound wasn't working too well, so I hopped over the um, to the platform that I know, and that happens to go to YouTube. So I am streaming at an obscure time. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into some unboxing for some new comic books, and I got one of my Grail books, right? So yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go over some of the books. Country boy, what's going on, bro? Let me know if you can hear me, bro. Can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me, because I'm not too sure. Fair, what's going on? What's going on, Fair? Uh Fair, you're not new here. What are you talking about? It's good. All right, because I don't have my headset. I don't got any of that stuff. Just a little podcast. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you for letting me know about the sound. Thank you. I knew I should have trusted the platform that I know, and that is YouTube. Uh, I know you just bugging. Talk about you. You're new here. You've been here, Fair. All right, so I'm gonna do some unboxing. I'm gonna go over some of the books that I already unboxed. So um, let's start it up. Let's start it up. So I got a couple of what if books from Becca's comic book trunk, and the first one goes to what if the Punisher became Captain America. I think that's pretty cool. I don't know what the story is, so I'm gonna read it. You know what I mean? Um, Another one is a double what if, and this one is what if the Dazzler became a herald of Galactus, right? And the second one is what if Iron Man was trapped in the time of King Arthur? I'm not too hyped for that one because I mean, like, there's a lot of metal there, so he probably figured out a way to do something, right? Um, so yeah, what was that question? I just saw a question pop up. Let me see. Let me see some chat. Then, how many of the Darkness comic do I own? So you mean what do you mean the Darkness? Let me know. Are you talking about the Darkhold from like Marvel comic books in reference to like Scarlet Witch and all of that stuff with the Darkhold? Let me know if that's what you mean, right? All right, so let's get into some of the. Oh, forgot to show you guys this. So we have the Annihilators. This team, Image comic book. I don't have any of the fair. Sorry about that. Um, so the Annihilators is one of my favorite runs that I wanted to get. Look at this team. Look at this team. We have Silver Surfer, we have Beta Ray Bill, we have Gladiator from the Shi'ar Empire, we have Quasar, and we have Ronan the Accuser, right? Uh, That team is just, I think this run was short because we couldn't have such an epic team. You know what I mean? Like, look at that team. Look at it. Beta Ray Bill alone is a beast. And then Beta Ray Bill with Gladiator. Because, you know, Gladiator's abilities are tied to his confidence at the time. So imagine that if he's with a team that he knows are beastly. He's going to be like, damn, like, we're not losing anything. You know what I mean? The next one is, I got New Warriors. This is, you know, Beta Ray Bill is one of my favorite. Oh, I agree with you. He's one of my favorite too. I've been reading some of it and it's pretty good. I'm not sure if familiar with oh, okay, with the darkness that you spoke of, right? So this is New Warriors. I just got this because I don't know, I know this is kind of like some of these characters I'm not too sure about. Yeah. So I just got it. To be honest, I was just curious about it. This next one that I got was Wakanda Forever, right? We know that the new Black Panther movie is labeled Wakanda Forever. So this is X-Men Wakanda Forever #1. Don't really know what to think about it, but I'm gonna check it out and read it. I'm a big X-Men fan, so I didn't get back into the X-Men until House of X and Powers of 10. So I'm a little bit behind when it comes to certain story runs, but I'm now really immersed in certain characters, right? Shout out to you, Country Boy. Fair. Actually, it's not an Image comic books. The Darkness is from TrackTitle Comics. Okay. Next one I got was some verses. This one is The Man Called Nova, and he's going against Thor. So just got it, just interested to get kind of like these old school books. Next one I got was here we go, Bloodshot #1. Now the movie wasn't. I'm not gonna do a review of the movie, but the movie was a watch. When I say it was a watch, it wasn't great. It wasn't. I didn't think it was horrible, but it was just something, right? Raymond Perez did a great job on Nova. Yeah, no, I agree. 100%. So yeah, that's Nova. I just wanted to get the #1 in its entirety and just kind of like sink into the comic books without thinking too much about the movie, right? The concept of the movie was pretty good though. It was just that the execution in some parts of it happened to be a little bit too rushed, right? And guys, let me know how the quality is. I'm using my phone right now because I brought my my computer to work today, so I'm using that. Oh, next book that I got, and I got it for a couple of reasons, just for the story, and it goes to Avengers of the Wasteland, right? So there are a couple of characters here that some of you may or may not know, right? And oh, I sound really clear. All right, appreciate you, bro. So I think this character who's holding Thor's hammer, who happens to be Thor, um, is the daughter of Luke Cage and also what's her name? Someone remind me in the chat. Jessica Jones, right? So she's the daughter, but this is an alternate timeline reality where it is kind of, I believe this is the same timeline of Old Man Logan, right? So yeah, where things go a little bit dystopian, and it's a timeline where basically the villains kind of take over the earth, and also Mysterio tricks Wolverine into killing just pretty much a lot of heroes, right? Because he just uses trickery and illusions to trick him, right? So I got #1 and 2. So I just want to check it out a little bit and just see how it is essentially, right? All right. That's that. Now it's time to get into some other books. So the next couple of books are from Skeleton Key Comics, which is, I usually get a lot of my books from Skeleton Keys, right? And they do some of the best wrapping I've ever seen. Like look at this right here. Look at that. There's a card in the front. There's a key on the side. Let me just pull this key out. I swear I'm gonna collect all these keys. They're probably gonna do a challenge one day. Like depending on how many keys you have, will unlock something, right? And I'm not too sure. This one, they left the card here. Plasma. Superior Squad. I'm not too sure what this is. Plastic surgeon Norris Normal was searching the Himalayas for an ancient Tibetan wrinkle cream when, in an ironic twist common to the comics of the time, his face was horribly mutated. In an avalanche, badly injured, he stumbled upon a hidden realm of Tralala, a civilization far superior to our own, save for their taste of clothing. There he nursed back to health and taught the secrets of the mystic arts. He keeps his hideous scarred face hidden to this day. Secret identity, none. Powers, telekinesis, mind reading capabilities, can heal psychically, and can guess a person's weight within 2 pounds without fail. First appearance, Normal Tales number 110, March of 1955. That's pretty cool. This seems pretty so he's plasma, and on the back it says radioactive man. So I guess that's what the comic books is from. Oh, that's pretty cool. See, I just enjoyed reading that. You know what I mean? And that's what Skeleton Key story time. Steve, what's going on, bro? Fair said, am I familiar with Kang the Conqueror? Absolutely, 100%. He's a very complex character because Kang the Conqueror is intertwined with other Kang the Conquerors, and he alone has brought about a lot of events in the Marvel universe. just because of his tinkering with time and going back and just being part of events, and thus him being part of events essentially started certain events too. So yeah, if you go read Kang the Conqueror's story, it's not as simple as just reading like one comic book run. There are multiple, right? And there are different variations to Kang the Conqueror that really spark some things, right? All right, so let's see what books I got here. From Skeleton Keys, some of the books that I remember, but we're leading up to my first Grail book. And if you're not familiar with the Grail is, a Grail is kind of like your ultimate personal collection. There's a total of 6 PCs Grail books that I want. And they're not like the books that a lot of people want, like X-Men 1, things like that. There are a couple others, but I have one of them today that I finally got, based on one of my favorite X-Men characters. So his first appearance is in there. All right, Kim. Now we're getting into the big boys when it comes to certain comics. Sorry I'm taking so long, but you know. All right, here we go. I'm telling you, when they are packing some of these books, they pack it really good, and I appreciate it because, you know, UPS and all of them, they just be like, they do backflips off of the books, throw it in front of your house, and then backflip off of the book and the package that they threw in front of your house. You know what I mean? All right, so here we go. Does Kang have any abilities other than just artifacts? No, Kang, that's pretty much it. Other than the technology that he wears, the suit that he wears, which allows him to do a myriad of different things too. That's about it. But it's really his suit, you know, his suit and the tech that he's had. Because remember, his tech comes from the future, so it's quite a lot. So the first one I got is the New Mutants. This one is number 26, and this is the first appearance of Legion. Legion is the son of Professor X, right? Professor Charles Xavier. So I almost knocked myself out. So this is the first appearance of Legion. Okay. Like I said, now I'm getting into the big boys, right? This one is Wolverine number 10. And this one is the first time Sabretooth appears in a Wolverine title. Pretty cool. Bring it a little bit closer so you can see some of that shine action, right? Cool. All right. Now, my favorite variation of Sabretooth is the 90s version, right? That's when he's just like rabid and wild, right? Like that version of Sabretooth from the 90s will, like, if you come in front of him, and like he'll just like slice your face open. You know what I mean? That's like a real Sabretooth. This one is the first appearance of Bishop. I have 2 of these now. 2 of these bad boys. First appearance of Bishop, right? Next one is the second appearance of Bishop, and this is right here, right? It's pretty cool. Black Agnes Reviews, what's going on, bro? How you doing today? So yeah, that's the second appearance of Bishop. So we have the first appearance, second appearance, and then this one is the origin of Silver Samurai, and the debut of basically Storm's Mohawk, right? Boom, right here. So let me go back to that comment. The Fair just dropped. He said, I wonder if they will put Kang as the next antagonist of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, because the movies have a lot to do with time. Yeah. So a lot of people speculate that we already know that Kang the Conqueror is coming, right, to the MCU. But one of the storylines that are probably gonna really kind of lead into something is really how at least for the MCU, is going to be the Loki show, right? Because it has to do with time, right? And how apparently Loki messed up things, right? But when we really think about it, it's the Avengers that messed up time, not really Loki, but he's kind of getting the snot out of everything. Black Agnes said, not too bad. I'm usually busy and missed a lot of content. Did you cover Maestro a while ago? I think that's how I said. I mean, yeah, I remember. I didn't finish the run. I only did that one comic book, and I read number 2, but I didn't get into number 3. I kind of fell off. I'm gonna be super honest with you. That's kind of the thing. I have to. I must admit, like some books, like I just fall off, right? So I'm not a big fan of Loki either, Fair, but I am eager to watch the show, right? War and Pax had a good number 1. Yeah, is it really? Did it have a good number 1? Um, let me know, like, should I get back into it? Do you think it's worth me getting back into? Because it wasn't that I didn't enjoy number 1 and number 2. It was just that I knew the conclusion of him becoming Maestro. So I'm like, it's not really like something I was too interested in. Like Immortal Hulk is really good right now, but um, but learning a Maestro really wasn't really something that was pushing me to keep going. Did you see how Venom became the new god of the symbiote? Oh, spoiler alert, sir. Spoiler alert. But yeah. Now, you're talking about King in Black. Now, King in Black. I was following King in Black. I didn't do any reviews. There's some stories that I read religiously, and I haven't done any reviews because I just want to like just read it and immerse myself. King in Black has to be one of the most phenomenal Venom stories I've ever read ever. It has really propelled his character to like the highest echelon that I never thought about Venom in that light, and him and his personality and his son and everything like that until I read King in Black. Not King in Black, really. I wouldn't say it started with King in Black, but it finalized everything with me with King in Black. Yeah, the original Maestro run is worth finishing in 5 issues online. Okay. All right, cool. And when following up with the War and Pax, I haven't read After so far, but I want to get back into it. I feel like it could better carry over. I hear you. You know what? I might just do like a marathon run. Sundays are usually the day where I just like marathon 2 things, right? I marathon read and I marathon watch other YouTubers, right? That usually support my channel. Fierce said, I wonder if Venom could defeat the Justice League now with the new power. Probably. I mean, my favorite part, spoiler alert in a little bit, team. My favorite part of the King in Black was not when Venom got the Enigma Force and basically became a God Venom, right? But when Venom used Silver Surfer's his surfboard and he used Thor's hammer, combined them together to make a Venomax. Epic. It was epic because a couple of things in the comic book. The way we look so surprised was the way that the characters in the comic book look surprised. Silver Surfer was like, what the hell? Thor was like, did he really just do that? All right, so here we go. Some of the books that I got to finalize before we get into others were, here we go. Guest star in it's basically Spider-Man, Spectacular Spider-Man guest starring the X-Men. And this goes to right here. Yeah, Donny Cates is a genius, a mad genius, bro. It is, I'm telling you, ever since I practically was baby, I love Venom. Yeah, Venom was not something that I really loved at the time. Do I love his character now? Absolutely, though. Here's an X Factor book. This is the origin and first appearance of X Factor. Now we know this is really the X-Men team, but their name was X Factor during this time period, right? So this is their origin and first appearance of X Factor, right? That's about it. So it's a pretty cool team, which is just basically the X-Men that we know, right? The next one is the second appearance of Brother Voodoo. I want the first appearance, so I'm searching for that, but not there yet, right? This cover looks pretty epic to me. And I love Brother Voodoo because he's he's pretty epic. He's badass. You know what I mean? This one, I was so happy to get this next book that I'm about to show you guys because it is homage to Superman #1. But this is basically when Spider-Man is lifting the car, right? And it's just there's a lot of Spawn has a homage to it too. Ice Cream Man has a homage to it too, and I just think this is pretty epic. Just overall, seeing him lift the car, right? It gives kind of hints into the feats that he can get to and even exceed, right? All right, team. I think that's it. I think we're ready for the Grail book. My X-Men Grail book. Some of you are like, what is this? And some of you are going to be like, that's your Grail book. And I'm going to tell you why I love this. Some of you know that I love this character, right? Some of you who will watch the playback too, right? The box was knocking me out. So this year I'm on the hunt for my Grail books, right? And my Grail books happen to be a couple of characters. Oh man, happen to be a couple of characters, right? And I'll tell you all of them, right? They're basically my favorite superheroes of all time. There's one that I know I'm not gonna get, and that goes to X-Men number 1, because it's the first appearance of Cyclops, and Cyclops is one of my favorite characters of all time, right? This is for the Marvel side. I have 2 sets of Grails. One set of Grail is for Marvel, and another set of Grail for DC, right? Guys, and shout out, appreciate you guys dropping those likes and just coming out to hang. I know some of you guys are dropping in, dropping out, coming back, getting a sandwich, coming back on the toilet, bringing it back, things like that. So appreciate you, right? Appreciate you. All right, guys. So I'm going to see who can tell me in the chat. Once you see the book, I want you to tell me why this book is significant. I want to see if anyone can get it. Because a lot of people don't know why this book is significant. And maybe it's not significant, but to me it is. Let me see. Oh baby. Oh baby. It's funny. It doesn't say the first appearance of this character, and it's a CGC book. So I'm wondering, like, did I get the right book? I'm pretty sure I did. I think CGC doesn't even know that it's the first appearance of the character. So let me know, guys. This goes to X-Men Legacy number 300. Who is in this book that is a first appearance? Let me know in the chat. Who thinks they know? It's not a popular character or anything of that nature. Let me bring it a little bit closer so you guys can see. And the character is not on the cover. I wonder if that's because of his powers. His powers are, that's why we can't see him either. It's crazy. So anyone could guess? I'm so happy to have this book. Just because it's first appearance of this character. I think I might be wrong. And it's white pages or something. Yeah. Let me know in the chat, guys. And you guys could just take some guesses, right? I'm not gonna say it for now. I just want to see if anyone really any of my comment. Uzi2, what's going on? I didn't even see you, bro. I think it faded out while I was talking or looking down or something, right? But let me go back to the chat until you all are guessing to see who is in X-Men Legacy. Whose first appearance is in X-Men Legacy number 300? Some of you are probably trying to go to Google real quick. But the Fear said that's probably why I love Spawn so much. Mainly because he has a symbiote along with practically limitless abilities. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. The design for the suit, the Black Spider-Man suit, came from basically someone else, right? And basically, I think Marvel paid it off, right? And then basically what then happened was Todd McFarlane and someone else designed Venom, the Venom character, right? And that's why they're very like with each other, right? And I just saw someone pop into the chat. Shout out to Action Figure Expert. He says, hello. What's up? What's going on? How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. I hope you're doing good too, right? I just did some unboxing, things of that nature. And what's going on, guy with the camera? What's going on? My theory person, right? We came up with a lot of theories on some past things. I don't know if we were right about a lot of them because I can't remember the theories that we came up with. But guys, again, I I just did, this is one of my Grail books. Who could guess? Again, I'm not going to tell you guys because I want to see who gets it. Who could guess whose first appearance is in this book, X-Men Legacy number 300? Now, again, it doesn't even say the first appearance on the top of it, which is pretty wild. So let me know. But I did a comic book unboxing. I didn't do New Comic Book Day. I haven't gone to my LCS, but I did get some books from a claim sale on Instagram. And I'm building my collection. A lot of these books I'm going to end up selling anyway. But some of them I'm keeping in my PC, aka personal collection. And this is kind of the beginnings. So it looks like no one, I'm going to give everyone probably about 1 more minute to see if they could guess who's in this. My guess is Magneto's True Children, green hair girl who I can't spell the name at the moment. Oh, Polaris? No, so the character that I'm talking about is actually not on the cover at all. Huh, which is pretty wild on its own. Yeah, he's not on the cover. But he is, if you go back to my Powers Discuss, my first episode of Powers Discuss, right? I do have a playlist of Powers Discuss. The first Powers Discuss is that character, and he's one of my favorite characters of all time. It's not Professor X's son, but I do have, when I unboxed a little bit earlier, I do have the first appearance of Legion. Yeah. So this is the first appearance of Legion. You never know when he could pop up, right? We know that the X-Men are coming to the MCU, but why not bring in Legion? Legion is a really crazy character. Let me know if you guys have ever seen Legion, the Legion TV show, right? Which is it's pretty stellar and pretty all over the place in a good way, right? I don't know. It's a really cool show. Let me see. So, all right. So I'm gonna give it to you guys. I think a minute's up, and I gotta look it up because what if I'm wrong? And that's why CGC didn't write the name on it. So, X-Men Legacy number 300. This, and if someone could look it up too, because I want to make sure that I got it. Because if not, then this is just a book. I have a theory of the X-Men when they come over into the MCU. Oh, I would love to hear it. So this is the first appearance of a mutant called Forget Me Not. Forget Me Not is one of my favorite characters just because of his powers and also because of his story and the things that he's gone through. So if you're not privy to Forget Me Not is a character that basically has the powers of basically everyone forgets him. And apparently he's been with the X-Men not the whole entire time, but he's been with the X-Men for a really long time. He's gone on missions. He's even helped them complete missions from comic books that we've seen in the past. But because of his powers, he is constantly forgotten. He is a character that literally that's his power. He's constantly being forgotten. He doesn't have any other powers, right? But his powers are pretty cool because even technology really can't lock onto him, right? He's in a constant state of perpetual flux, right? So he's there, but he's not there, right? Now, Professor X even had to create a psychic reminder, right? To remind him, hey, what's going on, Tanisha? Professor X created a psychic reminder that he is there, right? Because even Professor X would constantly forget too. The other X-Men, they would constantly forget too. Same thing when he was on other teams, they would constantly forget like that he was even there. But during things like the Brood kind of like takeover, he was there and he helped save like pretty much the whole day, for lack of better words. But he's a character that's been there. Again, he is Forget Me Not. He is the epitome of doing something for the right reasons without getting any credit for it. And so in his first appearance and even in his story, you could see him being in kind of in a state of depression when he first received, when he's reminiscing about his powers in the beginning. because remember, he's forgotten. He doesn't have any connection with anyone because he's constantly, again, being forgotten, right? Um, Let me see. Guy with the camera said, I always thought Forget Me Not was the time travel girl who joined up with Cyclops time when he went back to change the past. Oh, okay. No, 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 no. Forget Me Not is a whole nother character. Yeah. Unless they featured another person called Forget Me Not. But yeah, that's Forget Me Not. He's in the book, if I'm not mistaken. If someone wants to look on not YouTube, but I think I even said it on my YouTube video. He was X-Men Legacy number 300. And it wasn't like this was an expensive book, but I wanted that book because I really like the character. And I like the idea of the character. It's not a power that people want. It's not like fire, flight, super speed, super strength, shooting eye beams out of your eye or anything like that. But I think it's a sad but poetic character um, that would always be on my team. And the reason being is because forms of technology cannot detect him. They can only detect him for a couple of seconds before it's totally wiped away. And then it will find him again, and then it's totally wiped away. He's in a constant state of flux, right? Um, yeah, so he's there, but he's not there, right? It's like quantum theory a little bit. So that's X-Men Legacy. That's the one. There are 6 of my favorite characters, right? I'm gonna name all my favorite characters right now that I would put on my Marvel team. My Marvel team would consist of, and you could have your own Marvel team. My Marvel team consists of not like the highest echelon of characters, but how they would work together. Forget Me Not would be on the team. Okay. The next character would be Beta Ray Bill. Cyclops of the X-Men would be on it. Um, Why can't I remember my team? Cyclops of the X-Men, and then it would then go to um, Adam Bashir, the Blue Marvel. He's gonna lead the team, and I'm forgetting one more character. Oh man, I'm forgetting someone. Forget me. Oh, Darwin. Darwin would be the next character. Darwin is a mutant whose ability is to adapt to pretty much any situation. Um, yeah, it would either go between it's kind of like a tie. It's not like all of those characters are my favorite characters. It's just that those are the characters that I'm really fond of in terms of like their abilities and how they can possibly work together. It would either be a tie between Darwin or Sync. I think maybe I'm going more for Sync, and the reason why is because using powers in unison are like something that I'm very um, or like how powers combine kind of thing is a pretty cool concept to me. So yeah, that's my team. Is my favorite characters? No, that's a whole different video, but I'll tell you my favorite characters right now. My favorite characters are Blue Marvel, Adam Bashir, Cyclops of the X-Men, and Superman. I know a lot of people say Superman is overrated. I agree too, but I don't look at the character because of the trend, right? I look at the character because the leadership and doing things for the right reason. I aim to be a person like that. So in the hardest situations, will you make the right move? Will you do the right thing that doesn't really encompass sacrificing someone else for a whole, but being able to save both parties, right? It's kind of like that scenario. And let me know what you guys would do, right? You could either there's a train coming, and you could pull the switch to save that one person who's laying by the train tracks. Or if you don't pull the switch, then that person who's laying on the train tracks will not live, but everyone on the train will live. What would you do, right? Can you figure out a way to save both, or would you just choose to save the higher populace, right? And then you would have to sacrifice one if you save the higher populace, and vice versa, right? So it's kind of the hero's dilemma. I always say this is the hero's dilemma. What would a hero do, right? Um, and then based on what the hero would do would make them the superhero, right? So I could go a whole lot into that. That's kind of like comic book hero philosophy. So yeah, so those are the books, team. I don't know what else to kind of spit and get into. I could speak a lot about other topics that I'm hyped for, but I think this was the entirety of the stream, which was just the unboxing. But I'm gonna let you guys drop some comments before I hop out of here. So, Guy with the Camera said, honestly, I kind of wish they brought back Evan, the clone of Apocalypse. By now, I actually kind of like the kid, and since we now are missing Apocalypse right now. So, remember, Evan is still on. All right, Evan technically is still on Krakoa. He is there, right? We haven't seen Evan like die or anything. And if you're wondering, those of you who are wondering, like, who's Evan? Evan is a clone of Apocalypse, right? Grown from a kid, but he was taken care of by and correct me if I'm wrong, Guy with the Camera. He was taken care of like Phantomax, right? Um, yeah, not Phantomax, but I forgot what it's called, the ship or something like that. But anyway, later on. But my what I'm um yeah, is he I feel like he's in Krakoa though. I think he's in Krakoa. I could be totally wrong. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong. You know what I mean? I don't mind being wrong. I feel like he was mentioned in Krakoa or seen in the background of Krakoa. But I'm digging what you're saying because if Apocalypse is gone, and he's on Otherworld, right? Is he on Other? Yeah, he's on Otherworld or Araco. No, Araco is now a separate island that is gonna merge, or it's starting to merge with Krakoa. But we know the part that I'm hyped about is that Araco has a whole set of mutants that we have not seen yet, and those mutants are going to be part of a whole greater storyline, right? When it comes to X-Men. But my thing that I'm still hyped about is Moira McTaggart because of her mutant ability that we know of now. I'm searching for the first. Hers is one of my Grail books too, her first appearance, but I want to get it in a CGC 9.8 as well. Guy with the Camera says Gabby made a reference to him being brought back, and no one is speaking about that but her. Oh, okay, all right. I'm not too sure if that's why I kind of remember, or I felt like I seen him in the background, but I could be totally wrong. But that makes sense, that maybe not Apocalypse, that Evan will have a bigger part in the X-Men storylines now that Apocalypse is not there. But you know what I actually think is going to happen? I think there's going to be a really gigantic war that's happening. And the war that I think is going to happen is, and here's a theory, right? And this is what we do. We theorize, we kind of speculate. There are certain elements that have been building up in the Dawn of X and then the Reign of X that have led me to believe that there's going to be a really big war coming. And it is going to be something very similar to what we know of when it comes to Powers of 10 and House of X, when it was the machines versus the mutants, right? And in Powers of 10, basically, in far in the future, it was basically the Sentinels and advanced versions of the Sentinels, right? Prime Sentinels and things of that nature going against mutants, right? And basically humans and Sentinels kind of are coexisted or almost integrated going against mutants, right? Which led into a new possible future, but also we saw the Phalanx, right? And I will always say that the Phalanx is probably one of the greatest enemies that X-Men have ever faced. It's almost one of the ones that I thought they would never beat, but somehow they beat in past comic books. But anyway, um, going back into that, what I was speaking about in terms of the theory is if you read some of the Dawn of X books and the Dawn of X and the Reign of X, that Brew, right? Brew is a character that now has possession. He is the king. He ate I think it was the egg, right? Which now allows him to control all of the Brood. That's one, right? And Brood is not bad. He's actually like in alliance with the X-Men. The next is Sword. Sword is a brand new team. I would say that that's my favorite X-Men book of all time right now, and they alone are doing a lot of intergalactic work. And basically there's a forge of just different things, because I'm thinking about Rock, I'm thinking about Apocalypse. I don't think Apocalypse is bad, but I think he's going to come back to save mutants, and then we have the Brood that's going to team up with like all of the X-Men. I think the biggest war is going to happen, and it's going to be with I think it's going to be against like Sentinels and like machines and things like that. I think that's happening. And we're kind of coming to not a conclusion, but we're coming to something that's very relevant to what Moira was trying to prevent or what she was trying to beat, right? Because in each of the timelines that she was in, not timelines, in each of one of her lives, she did not succeed. And this one is supposed to be the timeline that supposedly does exceed. So we'll see. We'll see. It's either we're going to succeed in this timeline or we're going to get a big reset. If we get a big reset, then that would mean everything that we know right now is just part of Moira's 10th lifeline, which is kind of scary to believe, right? Let me see. Then Wolfsbane's son is being a topic too, but I can't remember what it was about. Do you know or remember? I know there's something about Wolfsbane's son. I just don't remember either. I know that, I'm trying to remember who his father is because that kind of gives relevance into, oh man, I think I was watching, what was I watching to know about Wolfsbane's son? It was either on Instagram that I was reading something or I saw something on for another comic book YouTuber. Interesting. I'm not too sure. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I'm probably going to do another live stream, not today. You'll notice that I've been releasing some videos on a new series that's called Comic Book Vibes, where you drop the questions and I answer them in video form. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna still release those Sunday through Tuesday, right? And check out the old videos, comment so that we could jam out and talk. After the stream, I'm gonna probably be on YouTube for another hour or so. So that way we could talk. If you comment, I'll reply back. And you could drop some questions too. I already have episodes all the way up until like episode like almost 20 already. But drop some questions. You never know. I might answer your questions, or I might answer some of them in a live stream. That's what I was alluding to. That I might just do something like this, right? A quick live stream on like a Wednesday, a Thursday. And some of you I know are wondering who might watch the playback. Zen, what happened to the games, the gaming? To be honest, I'm just really trying to do one style of content, right? Which is comic books. Content. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to play games anymore, but what it does mean is that I'm going to try to do content. If it is gaming content, it's going to be superhero gaming content. For example, it might be like Marvel versus Capcom. It might be the Avengers game, right? When the new DLCs for like Hawkeye and well, that one came out already, but like Black Panther comes out and then eventually Spider-Man comes out. DLC like that, or Injustice 2. So basically all of the content is revolving about comic books. Now I know some of you might argue and say, well, Super Mario is kind of like a superhero, so why not do him? I just want to really delineate some of the content that's on this channel so it doesn't get confusing, and I'm bringing in the folks that are really invested in kind of the hobby that I love, and that happens to be comic books, right? So let me go back. Guy with the camera said the father was some god that supposedly got killed a while back during the whole Thor war. Something. Both son and father got brought back during power. Oh, really? Huh. But now the son is hinting that he is back, but hiding from everyone, I think. Oh man, I can imagine because they're on Krakoa and like there's so many mutants that are there now or can be brought back. A big one that I'm really interested in reading more about, and he is in the New Mutants, is the Shadow King, right? All right, team. So let me see before I hop out. Last comment was, oh, Injustice is apparently getting a movie. No joke. Oh, really? That would sound pretty epic. I'm pretty eager if Injustice does, because Injustice is a really great storyline. My favorite DC storyline of all time has to be Deceased, though. And I can't wait to see what Tom Taylor comes out with when it comes to the Deceased mythos in the future. So anyway, guys, I'm going to hop out of here. Thanks for the 7 likes. I appreciate you guys. When I come on, it's just really about jamming out and geeking out. So With that being said, this is Zen from Zen Multiverse saying peace, love, and prosperity. If you're enjoying the content, later aggressively relaxing, um, drop a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video with like-minded people, and let me know if you watch some of my old videos that I dropped on questions from the community, right? And drop some of those questions in past videos, right? If you wanted me to answer a question, then do that, right? Talk to you later too, man. Guys, really enjoyed my time. Thanks for the 8th like. Appreciate you guys. I'm out of here. Let me see if I can actually stop the live, or am I going to be in a paradox of trying to stop the live? And I look like a noob. I found it.